Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ambassador's Lounge. Tonight we will look into the rapidly escalating fault line in South Asia, the growing tension between Pakistan and the Afghan Taliban. Once close partners, allies, now the two stand on opposite sides of a gulf which is widening. Diplomatic strains, border clashes, shifting alliances, they are all reshaping this partnership, which could be detrimental not only to the security and safety of the two countries, but also for the region at large. However, at the heart of all this lies the Tehreek-e-Taliban Afghanistan's continuous support for TTP, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, which is a terrorist organization, has its bases inside Afghanistan, from where it plans and conducts operations inside Afghanistan. The latest was the bombing in Islamabad. What Pakistan wants is that Taliban should treat TTP as a terrorist organization and rein in their activities. But how serious are the differences between the Taliban and Pakistan, and how will they impact the broader geopolitical landscape? Let's discuss this. I have with me close friends, Ambassador Asif Durrani and Ambassador Amjad Sher. Both of them, they have a good insight into Afghan affairs. Asif, let me begin with you. Now, mate, Taliban's victory, the Taliban that is 2.0, its victory was celebrated in Pakistan with great enthusiasm and fervor. What suddenly transpired that the two allies are now on the opposite side of the Gulf?
Imran, I think this celebration was not across the board. It was a section of course, you can say influential section in the government that celebrated it, including the government of the day, which
including those who went to Kabul and had
Kabul, and here the Prime Minister said that Taliban have broken the shackles of slavery. So this was a misplaced, you can say, way of welcoming the Taliban 2.0. And that has proved later on that that was a wrong way of welcoming them. And now whatever we are seeing is because as Pakistan, our polity, our system of governance, our way of handling things diplomatically is different than what the Afghan Taliban are made up of, and how they behave, especially with Pakistan.
So, Asif, did we underestimate the commitment of Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan to their ideological kins? Was Osama bin Laden was not an example?
I think you are right, and it's it's a very.
And it's a hindsight, you mean to say?
It is a very important question, and this also should serve as a lesson to us for the future.
But Asif, I have not been able to understand, and I don't think anyone, so many Afghan experts, none has been able to explain why has this gulf widened between Afghan Taliban and Pakistan. Why have their allegiance shifted?
No one is going to explain to you.
Sorry?
No one is going to explain to you, because we are talking about Afghanistan. And the major reason for all this chaos lies within Afghanistan. They don't trust each other.
The Afghans don't trust each
Yes.
other.
So this is what we say, that Afghans, they defeated the British, the Russians, and then the Americans. I think there's quite a bit of exaggeration in this statement.
Mm-hmm.
Afghans don't trust each other. They have been at daggers drawn throughout the history, except for Zahir Shah's 4 decades. and especially for the past 46 years, you have seen how their alliances have broken, remade, and then how they have been at each other's throat throughout during the past 46 years. So the lesson should be learned by our people who are in charge of the affairs of this country. They should, in fact, with the hindsight, I can say that they should have left Afghanistan to its own devices. They should have kept a respectable distance and let Afghans whatever they want to do to themselves.
So what was the point where we went wrong? What exactly where we went wrong?
I think
Was
prima facie, it was that since from the day one Afghanistan was having
Soviets
difficult
came in?
relationship with us, then the Pashtunistan bogey was there very
Yes.
much. While we miscalculated about Pashtunistan also, because there were no takers about Pashtunistan in Pakistan. And the number of Pashtuns in Pakistan are much larger than, much bigger than in Afghanistan.
So as if it's ominous that we and our neighbors are on the opposite side of the Gulf, whereas we should not have been like that.
Correct, absolutely correct.
Amjad, tell me, is Pakistan justified in blaming the Taliban? And this is something, what I have seen is that there is lack of introspection among us. Now, my question, very straight question is Pakistan justified in blaming the Taliban for TTP attacks, or is Islamabad overstating the threat to pressure Kabul?
Thank you, Imran. In the first place, we have to see the capacity of the current Taliban government. Do they have the capacity to control the TTP? If you recall, and I think there is a widespread saying about them, that this TTP had always been at their side in fighting against the Americans. And now at this point of time, taking action against the TTP is not going to help them, because the TTP helped them in fighting against the Americans when they were in power. Secondly, TTP is a Pakistani organization, but they have taken refuge in Afghanistan, and for that reason they say that they would like to have the same system in Pakistan which the current Taliban or the previous Taliban government had in Afghanistan. Obviously Pakistan has a constitution. The TTP does not recognize Pakistan constitution, does not recognize the government of Pakistan current system. So the Taliban are not justified in blaming Pakistan that the TTP, and then they again say that the TTP, they take action in Pakistan, so it is the responsibility of the government of Pakistan to take care of them when they leave from Afghanistan and come into the territory of Pakistan. Then it is their responsibility. Now question arises that how come from the border these people come traveling 100 kilometers or 50 kilometers and making all these,
Amjad, but is Pakistan justified in blaming the Taliban for everything?
Pakistan,
for totally, we are saying that it's Taliban responsible, fully
in
responsible.
the first place, I would say that the Taliban, when they say that they are not more than 10,000 in number, suppose the largest number is 10,000. So if we are not in a position, and it is our maybe our intelligence failure, that we have not been able to identify their places and to say that and then Taliban also, government is also telling us that you please tell us where are these TTP elements inside Afghanistan. We are going to take action against them. Have we ever been able to tell them where are those?
I think our security agencies have pinpointed the camps which the TTP has inside Kabul.
And then
inside Afghanistan, sorry.
Then there was also an offer from the Taliban side that if you say we can take these Taliban to the other side of Afghanistan, to the Uzbekistan side, Turkmenistan side, and to take them away from the. But I think that has also not worked. We did not agree to this. Probably.
But it's obvious. How can you accept relocation when you know that they can come whenever they want?
They cannot then from that far off. They cannot travel or cannot come.
No, it was, if I may enter,
please.
They wanted to relocate them to Ghazni.
Yes.
And Ghazni is almost mid of Afghanistan, and they can come to the border within 7 to 8 hours.
Absolutely.
So this is not.
That doesn't make sense.
This is not a solution.
Yes, it's definitely not.
This is not, and this is what they were telling us also. And then they wanted money from Pakistan.
Okay, Pakistan has realized, Asif, again a very interesting thing. Pakistan has realized the importance of a representative government in Afghanistan to resolve the issues of governance, terrorism, lawlessness, etc. How did this realization suddenly dawn upon us?
Well, after receiving so many setbacks. So we realized that we have committed a big mistake. And I hope that realization stays, because when I go for lectures I ask the students that how many of you would want Taliban system in Pakistan? Believe you me, not a single hand is raised.
Obviously.
So the question is that a system which you don't want for yourself, you fight for that system in Afghanistan. So from the word go, it was flawed policy. And that's why we are now facing the music.
But yes.
One thing more I would add to him,
please.
that where we have done this mistake, first thing is that when we have allowed the introduction of third element in our bilateral contacts with the Taliban, that was the fault line or the fault and flaw that we committed. We allowed the Qataris to come into, and then allowed and promoted and also recommended for an office for Taliban in Qatar.
In Qatar, okay.
We should have allowed that office in our own country.
No, this was not the case. Let me correct it. Americans wanted that. When the question of reconciliation
won't listen to you.
The Americans now have got a giant working group with the Qataris, the Taliban. Shaheen is there, their representative in Qatar. The only office which they have abroad is that Qatar.
Okay.
Now the current.
Amjad, how is it that Pakistan has realized the importance of a representative government in Afghanistan?
It means that a regime change, and they do not recognize the current Afghan government as the representative government of Afghanistan.
Do you think it's a representative government?
Well, the question of representative government about Afghanistan is again a joke. Let me be blunt. You think that during the past 2 decades of American presence in Afghanistan, they were representative government? They call it democratic government, but you think that President Karzai was a democratically elected leader? He was appointed by the Americans and voted by the people. Same happened with Mr. Ashraf Ghani, which is why that when Taliban were trying to capture provinces and all that, the 300,000 plus Afghan army just melted down. They could not defend it.
And that had been raised by the Americans.
It was raised by the Americans.
So here the representative government issue, you should take it with a pinch of salt.
I am. Yeah. Okay, continuing in the same strain, gentlemen, my question to both of you is that while we blame TTA, that's Tehrik-e-Taliban Afghanistan, for terrorism, are we genuinely aware, Amjad, of the intertwined military, political and social tensions, for example in KP and even in Balochistan? We must remember that any effort to blur the lines between counter-terrorism, conflict and social tensions will fail and can create greater crisis.
So far we have not received any report about the TTA involved in any terrorist incidents in Pakistan. TTA was a Afghan-led and Afghan-owned, and majority of the Afghans were there in TTP fighting against the Americans and the foreign forces, not in Pakistan. The TTP is the only faction that is been waging war against Pakistan. Terrorist activities they have been doing.
But gentlemen, you see, political and social tensions are there, whether it's KP or in Balochistan.
I would want to add here that TTA may not be involved the way you are describing it, but Afghan nationals are very much part of the TTP.
They have been hired by the TTP.
The question
because
is,
the Afghan can, if you
it's
pay
not
them
a
heavy
business.
money-
It's not a business. They are ideological cousins. They support each other. They are the two sides of the same coin. So therefore, I think TTA cannot absolve itself of the responsibility, because these TTP guys are taking shelter in Afghanistan. They move around with their weapons. Their leadership is very much there. They make plans to attack in Pakistan. So they are joined by the Afghan nationals also.
So our counter-terrorism, gentlemen, my question basically is that is our counter-terrorism policy taking cognizance of the fact that military, political and social tensions are also there? We are blaming Afghanistan, Taliban for everything. But are we aware of these, the presence of these tensions, Asif?
Yes, I think there is a realization, but at the same time,
What are we doing? If there is a realization, what is the government doing to check
I
it?
think now the realization is to involve the people of the area where the realization. I said realization. Well, when it takes the practical shape is yet to be seen. But realization in the sense that without the support of the people on the ground, you cannot win this war. Without police being the first responder, you cannot win the.
Absolutely.
For instance, this Islamabad suicide attack, it was in fact unearthed by IB and police. They know it. So let the police be the first responder, and rest. I mean, the paramilitary and the military should be the behind them to support them.
And it's equally, sorry, please go ahead.
And political ownership is very important. The people of the area should be made responsible.
Absolutely.
They should have the clear mandate, because once they have the mandate, then I think they will be the defenders, and they would not allow the suspicious characters to take refuge in their area.
Amjad?
Yes, I do agree with Ambassador Asif that the people should be taken into confidence and should also be ask them that what kind of response the government of Pakistan should give to these elements. There is generally no cooperation and no support for this kind of elements in any part of Pakistan. And most affected are the two provinces, that's KPK and Balochistan. And there are people, the Malik, the Masharan have also said, even told that you please leave these people to us, we will fight for you.
So social tensions, the perceptions of the people, the grievances of the people have to be taken in account if you want your policy, counter-terrorism policy, to succeed, which means that your counter-terrorism policy has to be accountable.
Exactly.
Okay. My next question. Now, besides a general understanding to continue the truce, the position of Pakistan and Taliban, Asif, are poles apart. There is no common ground upon which to build a permanent peace. Can Kabul, Islamabad find a genuine compromise on counter-terrorism, or is this their mistrust too entrenched?
Imran, truce is there, even if it is temporary. It is an uneasy truce. But at the same time, the issue is that somehow Afghan Taliban, they don't have the confidence to say something concrete about doing or stopping the TTP not to attack Pakistan. For instance, I can count their you can say, failures. When I was Special Rep for Afghanistan, a couple of ministers told me that I was not alone, but I had other colleagues
delegation
as
was
well.
there.
Yes. That Mullah Heptullah has declared attacking Pakistan haram. He said. So I said, why don't you make it public? I've said it earlier also. Why don't you make it public? So they said, no, right now we are telling our own formations, i.e. Taliban's formation, that you have to be careful. I said, unless you make it public, it won't have an impact, because Mullah Heptullah is revered by the TTP, and they have owed their allegiance to Mullah Heptullah. They have had the bath on his hand, so they will consider it as an edict for them that they will have to obey. This did not come by. So until date, this statement that attacking Pakistan is haram has not been declared by the Afghan Taliban. Secondly, when our Prime Minister said you choose between Taliban, TTP or Pakistan, no response came.
Yes.
Right? So what does it indicate? It indicates either the ministers were telling lie to me, that that Mullah Heptullah didn't in fact mean it, or he didn't issue that. They were, telling me on their own. Or secondly, then with regard to Prime Minister's ask that you choose between TTP or Pakistan, and no response means they are actually supporting the TTP. So this has become clear.
Yeah, I agree with you. But now, is there how to find a common ground? You see, negotiations will only succeed when there is a minimum common ground on which to build upon it. At the moment, there is no common ground between Pakistan and the Afghan Taliban. So, talking about peace, how are you going to build it when there is no difference?
Look, Imran, where we have lost this connectivity with each other, this connection. The first thing is that why Taliban has gone against Pakistan. There is severe trust deficit between the two sides. The thing is that, and it started from the day when we hosted that anti-Taliban seminar over here at that conference over here. Their foreign minister Mullah Muttaqi was about to visit Pakistan, and that he could go to India for 7 days, but he was not given the permission to visit Pakistan. Why? If he had come to Pakistan, there were so many things. In 2023, he was here in Pakistan. That was his first ever visit. So that was the first thing that the Taliban, we lost trust and confidence with the Taliban. The second was that why Taliban are now looking for other, and why there is now this mediation by other countries like Turkey and Qatar, because that trust and that confidence amongst each other. We speak the same language, we have the same culture, we have the same religion, connection, historical links with each other. We have been using and we have been calling for Taliban and mediating for Taliban with other countries. This is the big question.
So, despite having common culture, common religion, everything,
we
do not have a position, a joint position.
Yes.
Asif, that
I
is
think
regrettable.
let me correct Amjad. The SASI had organized a seminar. Those were the academics. And those who had to do something with politics, they were third, fourth tier in the Afghan hierarchy. And this is not something new. Such seminars are happening in Istanbul, in Vienna. In February this year, I attended a seminar in Madrid. So this was an academic exercise. And with regard to Muttaqi's visit here, it was the 1267 committee, now called 1988 committee, which is Taliban committee, that did not allow. So Pakistan cannot be faulted
My
for that.
point is that
My
if
question
he
to
is
both
allo-
of you is, my question to both
my
of you
point is
do
that
we
if he
have
is allowed to
no,
visit
please.
India, why not to
Do
Pakistan?
we have,
No,
do
there
we
were
have a
technical
common
hitch.
ground?
They-
Asif, please. Do we have or where to find a common ground on which to build peace?
Listen, there have to be common ground in a sense that why Turkey or Doha came. It is because there was an exchange of fire. I mean, we attacked. Don't forget. And it could have, increased the conflagration between the two countries. So in order to preempt that, Turkey was there, and we should be grateful to them. Doha also came. Issue is that a bad blood is quite visible as far as the relationship between the two countries is concerned. The trust is the first casualty. That can only be addressed when there are, friends who can mediate. And otherwise, Pakistan and Afghanistan, they have been talking to each other. Even when the communists were in Afghanistan, we were talking to them also.
So, gentlemen, what you are saying is that there is lack of trust, there is a severe trust deficit, and because of this trust deficit, we cannot find a common ground on which to build peace. Obviously, Taliban and Pakistan, their positions are poles apart. Taliban, first of all, was stating that there was no presence of TTP inside Afghanistan. Then they said, yes, well, they are there, but we cannot control them. Pakistan wants Taliban to reign in TTP. Between these 2 points, there is no common ground.
But that can become a common ground. Reason is that ultimately Afghan Taliban will have to realize that they have to control the TTP. Otherwise, they will be harming their own interests.
Well, that's an ideal situation which...
because the circumstances will force them.
Can foreign mediators realistically influence Taliban policy towards TTP? Or are the outside powers overstretching their role in Afghan affairs, Amjad?
Thing is that why my first point is that why we have come to this point that now foreign mediators are there in our to bilateral affairs. We had very good bilateral contacts with the Taliban government, and Pakistan has always maintained this position. Whatever form of government is there in Afghanistan, Pakistan will always maintain good relations with Afghanistan. The point is that why foreign elements are there in our bilateral affairs. This is the point.
Asif?
Well, it happens. This is not something, happened first time in the interstate
foreign
relationship.
Mediators are always, when it becomes difficult between the two sides to resolve the
mediators have come because the first blunder that we committed was attack in Kabul by our Air Force, and which the target was Nurwali Mahsood, and also he escaped. We couldn't target him, and that was the starting point of that mistrust. And
sorry, I don't agree with that. That was the starting point. The mistrust was there much before that.
But it was exaggerated.
But the question is,
it was exacerbated by that.
Why? You see, you have sacrificed huge amount of people. People have been killed. And then when you take action, you are being reprimanded for that? That doesn't make sense.
And we have been telling the Afghans that you are ehsan faramosh. We have done so many goods
but
for
haven't
you,
we?
And you have 40 years. In Afghan culture...
That is a social media thing.
In Bukhtun culture, you do not taunt. Please, this is a bad thing. That you tell them you are ehsan faramosh, you are nashukur guzar, you are something like these are the words that you are our guest.
Well, but my question stays. You people are not addressing my question. That is, are the foreign mediators, they are realistic in their...
I think they have their limitation, mediators. They can take the horse to water. They can't make it drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Asif, there's a general saying that the Taliban were reluctant to give written assurances.
Yes, that is...
But why? Why are they reluctant?
I think, let me tell you, There was a trilateral meeting in May 2023 between Pakistan, China, and Afghan
Afghanistan.
foreign ministers. And in that, the joint statement, the Afghan foreign minister, Mr. Muttaqi, committed on behalf of Afghanistan that their government will take action against the TTP and ETIM. And now that 3 months ago, when this trilateral meeting was held in Kabul, after frequent postponements, the Afghan side refused even to take that agreed language of May 2023 statement into the Kabul statement. Therefore, no statement was done as a result of this trilateral meeting. This is the written thing. Why? They said that in May 23, when we agreed for that statement, that caused problems for us internally. There was a lot of criticism within our own government.
But externally also,
So-
if they give written assurances, then that would mean that they are accepting the presence of TTP inside.
Absolutely. Because if you look at their double-faced policies, that on public they say there are no TTP in Afghanistan.
Yes.
There are only refugees. But when they talk us bilaterally, they even request money to relocate those
Relocate them,
TTP
absolutely
categories,
correct. There's a very strong point that they are talking about relocating. So if they are not there, if
So
TTP
they
is
were
not there,
ready to
what is-
give verbal commitments, but not written
But we should
commitments.
have taken verbal commitment, Amjad.
My point is that in the first place, we need to understand the psyche of the Afghan people. For the last more than 40 years, they have been in a state of war. So their psyche is not normal. Let us take it for that. I would repeat the words of Lieutenant General Ihsanul Haq, who said that we need to have a strategic patience.
He was
with
full
our-
general, not lieutenant
Yeah,
general.
Lieutenant General.
Full general.
Yeah, General.
Four-star
Ihsanul-
general.
Okay, gentlemen, I want quick answers.
Strategic patience.
I want,
with the
we
Afghans.
want, that's interesting thing. There should be strategic patience from Pakistan. And I think we need to continue. This is a very important phrase we have used, strategic patience. And we need to exercise
And
that.
we have not
Both,
yet discussed
but
the trade,
we're
embargo.
coming to that. We're coming to that. Now, is Taliban's tolerance of TTP a strategic necessity for internal control or a reckless move that could destabilize the region?
Yes. It's with me?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, your questions to me.
Yeah.
TTP will become a liability for the Afghan Taliban.
I'm sure.
It has
As
already
things stand.
started showing its signs.
As things
So
stand.
I think the good sense should prevail within the Afghan Taliban hierarchy.
Come out of this kinship, ideological
Yes,
kinship
yes, because
nonsense.
this would, in fact, if you go back to 9/11 situation, so this Osama bin Laden, on which Mullah Umar took a stand that they are our guests. So that was a blunder. Otherwise, his government would not have been toppled.
Obviously.
So it is up to them that whether they want to stay in power or continue with their present system, or they want to be the part of the international community, or they want to be an island and it is drowned in the sea because of the typhoons.
Good. Yeah. I'm just coming to you. Month-long border closure has affected bilateral trade. The Mullah Ghani brother has said that Afghanistan will no longer allow the import of Pakistani goods, including pharmaceutical products, into Afghanistan. And then we have lost considerable market for our goods to
65%.
India, Iran, China, UAE, 65% as you said. And trade has reduced to $800 to $900 million. Are we sliding into irrelevance? Would this loss be permanent?
Listen, the first thing is that we used to have 2 billion. The minimum last figure was $2 billion bilateral trade with Afghanistan. 1.4 billion exports from Pakistan and $600 million imports from Afghanistan, and mostly that was fresh fruits, vegetables, and coal for our cement industry. So we have lost more because of this closure of the borders. And that's why now this is not the first time that we have closed the borders. The Afghan Transit Trade Agreement is not suspended, but because of the border closure, the treaty is not taking, the trade is not taking place. And now the Afghans have, the Mullah brother has now called the businessmen and the traders to, chalk out some more avenues for their exports. India is already airlifting most of the Afghan goods from Afghanistan to India, and their pharmaceutical products are coming in a large quantity to India through airlifting. So, and they are now focusing on the wheat, sugar cane, sugar and other items are coming. From Pakistan side, we have lost 65%. Our market control in Afghanistan, we have lost that.
Asif, this is serious. The statistics show that it is serious. There was a time when there were 1,000 to 1,200 containers that were going from Pakistan to Afghanistan. Now they have come down to what, mere 200, 150,
No, it's
300.
stopped for the past 1 month.
Past 1 month, it has stopped completely.
Nothing is moving.
Yes, absolutely.
Nothing
correct.
is moving.
So it's
a loss.
It's a loss.
It's a loss, absolutely.
And
loss.
it is
And it should not happen like
bilateral
this.
trade relations.
It should not happen like this. So, my personal view would be, don't weaponize trade. This is not a good policy. It is, in fact, perhaps our people think that blood and trade cannot flow together, but I don't think even Mr. Modi, who with the Chinese,
Absolutely.
he stopped the trade with China.
Yeah.
But within 6 months, he had to revert to the previous position, and now their trade has increased $35 billion plus than what they had in 2000.
So do you think
2020, and it was almost $95 billion in 2020, and now it is $130 billion.
So do you think this trade loss is irreparable?
This trade is actually lifeline for everyone, those who are involved, and they are involved in thousands, in lakhs. It's a livelihood for the millions of people. So if you snatch their livelihood, you think that you will earn respect?
Yeah. So what is happening is what is happening is that it is the common man, common businessman, small businessman, which is being affected by this closure of borders and this disruption in trade. And what is happening is that you are earning greater enmity of the people of Afghanistan, which is, I think, a greater loss.
Not only the people of Afghanistan, but your own people also, because the people in KPK and Balochistan, they have also trade relations.
They are also suffering, yes.
Suffering. And more important is that our dream of reaching the Central Asia through Afghanistan, that is not going to be fulfilled.
Okay, gentlemen, quickly, what is the way forward?
Well, don't weaponize trade, one. Secondly, these 3 rounds are not enough. Even if you have to go for 30 rounds more, don't stop diplomacy to work. It's the diplomatic way. In diplomacy, you don't close your doors to dialogue. Those who do it, they do it at their own peril, yes.
We need to strengthen our security system, our intelligence system to locate and identify the elements that are coming through our borders. We should stop the smuggling, all these things, because the smuggling is now giving benefit to those people who are now involved in this, but we should not stop the trade.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, at the heart of growing tensions between Pakistan and Afghanistan lies the ungodly alliance, the demonic bond between Tehreek-e-Taliban Afghanistan and Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. This alliance has deepened mistrust and eroded confidence in what was once cooperative ties between the two countries. Now, as things stand, tensions are mounting. The political positions of the two countries are hardening, and the statements emanating from the leaders of two countries, they portend no good for the bilateral ties. Now, added to that, as my panelist said, the closure of border between the two countries has adversely affected bilateral ties. Now, all this may give way to lasting hostilities and irreparable damage to the bilateral ties. Ladies and gentlemen, Taliban 2.0 is an emboldened entity, a confident group, a seemingly confident group, and they are trying to charter a course in search of recognition, legitimacy and autonomy. But in the process, they must realize that they need to balance their relationship with the ideological cousins, the kinship with the TTP and other terrorist outfits against desire for legitimacy in the region. Pakistan's accusations of Taliban, particularly regarding the TTP and the terror outfits operating from Afghanistan, they are deeply concerning Pakistan, and they affect its security interests because they have accounted for a huge amount of lives. Now, what is the way forward as suggested by my panelists? First of all, Pakistan has to come up with a consistent and accountable counter-terrorism policy, and at the same time, as stressed by my panelists, we have to engage continuously in the Taliban in a diplomatic way. Regional coordinated regional engagement is also important to bring about a regional infrastructure or regional arrangement for peace in Afghanistan. And of course, international mediators can also play a role through pressure and incentives. Thank you for watching Ambassador's Lounge. Please subscribe to our channel and we'll be back.